NXT Stand and Deliver is taking place this Saturday. That's right, on the same day as day one of WrestleMania. I'm going to give you my preview and predictions for you now here on SCW. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comment section. Please like and share the video as well. 6 matches to go through then. Let's quickly go through the match card and then I'll give you my predictions. We've got L.A Knight taking on Gunther. We've got the NXT Tag Team Championship of Imperium against the Creed Brothers against MSK in a triple threat match. Carmelo puts his North American Championship on the line in a ladder match against 4 different opponents. Only 3 at the time of recording are confirmed in Santos, Escobar, Grayson, Waller, and Solo Sikoa. We've got Tommaso Ciampa going against Tony D'Angelo. We've got the NXT Women's Championship match in a fatal 4-way. Mandy taking on Cora, Jade, Shirai, and Kaylee Ray. And last but not least, we've got the NXT Championship of Dolph Ziggler taking on Bron Breakker. So let's start things off then, shall we, with L.A Knight against Gunther. This is the match of mouth against, well, skill in the ring. Which one is going to come out on top? Gunther upset with the idea that L.A Knight could just get himself into matches using his mouth, and Gunther feels he's been overlooked in NXT 2.0 since getting there. Should be a fun match. I'm really looking forward to this. These have got a clash in styles and variations. Should be fun in the ring, but for me, Gunther is winning all day long. I can see L.A Knight being moved to Raw or SmackDown post-WrestleMania. Gunther, for me, then aligns himself into a good position to go for the NXT Championship. Next, we're going to talk about the NXT Tag Team Championships, the triple threat match, and we've been speaking about Gunther. Let's speak about the rest of Imperium, the Tag Team Champions of Eichner and Bartel against the Creed Brothers versus MSK. Now, who was the team that took out the Creed Brothers from getting this one-on-one opportunity? MSK looked like they had everything to gain when they took their spot for a Tag Team Championship match a couple of weeks ago on NXT, but of course that ended in a false finish, a no contest, because the Creed Brothers interrupted it. But is MSK the team? Because another team have been destroying the Creed Brothers locker room just this past week on NXT. Could be a fresh team we've never seen before. Could be a team that's signed to the company. It could be sending excitement and shockwaves into the NXT Tag Team division. It remains to be seen at this point, and since I'm unsure, I'm going to remain with my early prediction as MSK being the team that actually took out the Creed Brothers. And it would make good sense as well going into this tag team title match, because all these 3 teams, incredible in the ring. I think they're going to put on a show-stealing match. For me personally, I'd love to see the Creed Brothers walk away as tag team champions, but knowing that some team is going to reveal themselves, and if they don't do it on NXT TV this week, which I think they shouldn't, they will probably reveal themselves here at Stand and Deliver, which will give them a natural feud going forward. Alright, it gives motive as well for this other tag team as well, knowing that they, have taken out the Creed Brothers, destroyed the locker room. They probably give themselves a great opportunity of becoming #1 contenders very quickly, perhaps even go for those tag team titles. But I've got a funny feeling that that feud could perhaps delay the Creed Brothers becoming the tag champs at this stage. So for that reason, I'm going to go for MSK to pick up the victory, and we'll see what happens going forward. But the tag team division, very interesting right now. This could go a number of ways. A part of me still wants to say the Creed Brothers because I want the Dusty Cup to mean something, but I don't know, there's something suspicious about this match. It's one of the more unpredictable ones. Let's go MSK. Next, let's talk about the North American Championship ladder match. Carmelo defending against 4 competitors, although at the time of recording we only know 3 of them. Grayson Waller being one of them, Santos Escobar, and of course we've got Solo Sikoa in there. We've got a 3-way to determine who will beat the last spot. We've got Cameron Grimes in there, we've got Roderick Strong, and we've got A-Kid. Now for me, looking at it, I think A-Kid would be a fun addition to the match, but the fact that he's already lost on NXT, I do sort of wonder if maybe another opportunity could come for him later on down the line. For me personally, I can see Cameron Grimes getting the spot, because Cameron Grimes has got this storyline narrative going into 2022 of winning a championship. It's something he wanted to do for his father before he passed. I think that it would be a nice sentimental spot, and potentially could make Cameron Grimes a favourite to win the championship if he is to get into this match. It sort of presents that hard times feeling, actually, which is, I mentioned Dusty Rhodes already in this video, but kind of has that representation of that. So that's a story I'd quite like to see. One thing I'm going to say very early doors, I think Carmelo is dropping the championship here. I think he's bit a little bit off than he can chew. He's got a little bit too cocky, but I think it's a great way of getting the title off of him without him being pinned or submitted. A ladder match seems a good place to do that, because I think for Carmelo he calls himself the A champion. He could perhaps go to become the champion after this. He could put himself to go a level up. He's certainly ready for main event level in NXT. He certainly could even be someone that could go to a Raw or SmackDown. I've even said in other videos that I think he would be quite a good position for the Intercontinental Championship against Ricochet going forward into the early part after WrestleMania. But looking who could win this match then, I said Cameron Grimes would be a good shout. The other one I give a shout to is Grayson Waller. The guy is detestable. The guy is not liked. And could you imagine if he was to cost Cameron Grimes at the last moment, on the last rung, to win that championship? That's a ready-made feud going forward. And I think the fact that Grayson Waller's done a great job of being an unlikable heel, to give him the North American Championship, I think makes a lot of sense. And for Cameron Grimes to chase that as well, for me, fairy tales should come true at times, like a show like Stand and Deliver, the biggest show of the year, but also it should set stories up going forward. So how about it sets up for In Your House instead? I'm going to go for Grayson Waller to win the North American Championship and cost Cameron Grimes at the very last moment. Next is Tommaso Ciampa's last match in NXT, going against Tony D'Angelo, which is, I think it's an interesting choice of opponent, if I'm going to be brutally honest, because I'd like to perhaps see someone different, maybe someone more of, I don't know, a bigger namesake, perhaps maybe one more match with Gunther or something like that. But hey, this goes completely in favour of Tony D'Angelo. He's got everything to gain in this match and nothing to lose, because Tommaso Ciampa could walk out with his head held high with a big victory. But for me personally, I think it makes more sense to build the star for the future. I think Tommaso Ciampa should do the job on the way out. I think Tony D'Angelo walks away with the W. Perhaps to give a bit of saving grace after the match, maybe Tony D'Angelo gets a bit too cocky, and I think Ciampa then gets the advantage to walk away with the big cheers and celebrations from the crowd, and still looks like he's gained something even though he loses the match. Next, let's talk about the four-way for the NXT Women's Championship. We've got Mandy Rose against Cora Jade, who got herself in this position by stealing all the championships and then finding a way to get herself a championship match, although she was attacked in the end by Mandy Rose in Mandy Rose's own car. It felt like it was one bit of theft too many from Cora Jade there. And the other challengers, of course, we've got Kaylee Ray and Io Shirai, won the Dusty Cup for the women, but instead of going for the Women's Tag Team Championships against Toxic Attraction of Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, they decided to cash in for a Women's Championship match instead. I'm not quite sure that's how it works, but hey, we're here nonetheless. Let's take away some of the perhaps silly narrative that's got us to this position, and let's just focus and say that this four-way could be a show stealer. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, this match, and what I really like is there's a lot of doubt on the NXT Women's Champion. It feels a little bit that Mandy Rose is going to be very vulnerable. Even if Toxic Attraction get involved here, they still only even up the odds, really. It becomes 3-on-3, and you know, Mandy Rose, it's going to be a 3-on-1 scenario at the start of the match, so I can see her taking a bit of a beating. The question is Mandy Rose going to still escape somehow Women's Champion? It feels like the odds are really stacked against her, and we need some heels to pick up some wins on this show. So for me personally, I think Mandy Rose could retain here. I think that could be a likely destination. But at the same time, I feel that Cora Jade is going to be the one they want to push going forward. I can see Io Shirai being called up. Kaylee Ray, I'm unsure about. I also have a feeling about Zoe Stark. When is she going to return? Maybe that keeps Io Shirai in NXT because there's a story they can play with that. So there's lots of different variables, lots of different ideas that are on the table. But for me personally, I'm going to say if someone does win the championship, it will be Cora Jade. But I wouldn't be surprised if Mandy Rose retains. Final prediction I'm going to give for you though, I'll say Cora Jade. But this one, again, it's a bit uncertain, but that makes it quite exciting. Last but not least then is the NXT Championship, Dolph Ziggler defending against Bron Breakker. For me personally, I like that they're doing this match here because, I mean, it was a big surprise, Dolph Ziggler winning the NXT Championship. Who saw it coming? But in a way, it made a lot of sense. But for me, Dolph Ziggler was a mentor in NXT back in the very early days when it was a game show. So he has history with the brand. It's fun that he's come in, he's won the championship over a novice as well, someone that's been there and done it. Bron Breakker is still very early, very new to the game, and Tommaso Ciampa, who was in the match as well, was an experienced one of the now. I wish they played into the storyline a bit more, the fact that perhaps Ziggler could have been a mentor for Bron Breakker going forward, and it broke up from there, and that's what made the match here for Stand and Deliver. But we've gone with the simple rematch clause. Like I said, the story could have been better, but the whole idea about this is to give the crowning defining championship moment to Bron Breakker on WrestleMania weekend, to make him feel like a big star going into the summer and make him feel like a big deal going to future WrestleMania weekends, whether that's a part of NXT or where it eventually ends up on Raw or SmackDown. So for me, we're crowning the champion once again. Bron Breakker wins the gold here, wins over Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler and Roode can go back onto Raw, and we can move to a great feud in the summer. We can have Bron Breakker against the likes of Carmelo Hayes, and one match I'm extremely looking forward to of Bron Breakker against Gunther, who I do believe will become your next NXT champion later in the year. But that's my predictions there for you. What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments below. Right now, I cannot wait to interact with you. We've got WrestleMania Fever, and of course, WrestleMania predictions will be on the channel tomorrow. That's right, live stream as well. Make sure to go and check that out. As well as that, we've got SCW Rewind, the Retro Review, the show you voted for. WrestleMania 21 will be reviewed on this channel live on Thursday. I'm looking to do a WrestleMania live Q&A on Friday evening as well. And of course, there'll be reviews for WrestleMania as well, and lots of little other videos coming out during the week as well. This is a busy week on SCW, so it's a good idea that you subscribe if you're enjoying this content. You can see each and every video as it's released and get WrestleMania Fever just like I've got it as we go into the weekend. And of course, it starts with Stand and Deliver. Like the video, say, share with a friend, and let me know your predictions for this show in the comments below. But check out these videos on the side of your screen. In the meantime, have yourselves a great day. Thank you for watching as always. You've been watching SCW here on YouTube. Take care. All the best.